This is the CultureCast, episode number 3.
Are you looking to improve culture at your organization? Do you like to stay up to date on what's working for other companies? If so, you've come to the right place. You're listening to the CultureCast, a podcast that uncovers what's working for organizations in every corner of the business world. Here's your host, Amelia Wilcox.
Hi, and welcome to the show. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to start a wellness program, how to start it small and grow it over time, building it up piece by piece. Today, I'm interviewing Diana Hasselfeld of Varian Medical Systems. She is the wellness director, and she's an occupational health nurse practitioner at Varian's onsite workplace clinic. Her job is to help her fellow employees to stay healthy and engaged at work, and Diana is a very integral part of that. She is involved in the environmental health and safety team. She leads her company's volunteer employee wellness committee. And Varian has a pretty amazing wellness program now, but it did not start out that way. Diana will share with you in today's episode the strategies that her company has used to build their wellness program a little bit by little bit over the past 20 years. At the end of the episode, I have a free corporate culture checklist for you to download, so listen for instructions on how to get it. Now here is my interview with Diana. Hi, Diana. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Great. We're so excited to have you here today. So just to start off, in just a few sentences, can you just kind of break down just a little bit of an overview of what Varian Medical Systems does?
Yes, Varian is a production facility, and we make CAT scanning tubes, imaging products. About half of our employee base is production, and the other half is office engineering support.
Awesome. Great. And what exactly do you do at Varian? What does your job entail?
Well, I'm the occupational health nurse practitioner, and I operate a clinic, which is on site. So I take care of the employees and the workers' comp, ergonomic issues, and the response teams. But one of my big focus areas is wellness and health of the employees, preventive things and wellness programs.
Awesome. And how long have you been doing that for?
Well, I've been here for over 20 years, but I've been doing this kind of work for many, many years. So we've had a wellness program of some sort for about 20 years here at Varian.
Okay, so you guys are like, you're veterans. You've been doing this for a while.
We really have. We started small, but we've been doing it for a long time.
Awesome. Do you want to tell me a little bit more about what the benefits and perks that your company offers to your employees are right now in 2016?
Right. We do have quite a few benefits and perks for wellness and health. We have a fitness center, which is really quite extensive, and we've just put that into our new facility, and there's a walking track around that. We're hopefully going to be able to return our outside walking track in the future after our construction is completed. But we have that, and we have health fairs and ongoing wellness programs that we do kind of seasonally. We have healthy choices in our cafeteria. You can get a healthy entree for much less money than you can, like a burger and fries.
Nice.
We have on-site medical clinic, of course. So we have on-site massage therapy if you want to get a massage, and we use that for injury prevention also. So we have quite a few things going on.
Awesome. So it sounds like you guys have a really robust program. You guys have a lot of different things you developed over the years, and you've kind of built this up over time. Can you tell me a little bit more about how you started in the very beginning? Where would somebody start that has nothing in place, and how did you guys do it and get to where you are today?
We started very, very small. There was just a group of employees that would walk at lunchtime together, and we would bring in a video, and we would secure a room, or even in the cafeteria or out on one of the loading docks in the summer, and we would exercise to a videotape, and finally we decided we wanted to get a fitness center going, and so we were able to screen off a portion of our lobby and use it after business hours, and we would just bring in some used equipment. And we started to try and get a little bit of our fingers in the door for management. We would ally ourselves a little bit with maybe someone in management that was a bicycler or a runner, and we would talk up how much we wanted a fitness center. So then we got word that we did have a recycling fund here at Varian, and that was money set aside for miscellaneous purchases, and it was from fillers and all of the things that came in the boxes. Okay. And so it was recycling money, and so we started to purchase 1 or 2 items with the recycling money, and we slowly built that up, and then we were able to put it into a small room, and we just expanded year by year until management gave us actually a budget.
So how many years did that take to get that budget?
It took about 4, maybe 5 years before it really got on its feet. At that time, then we were going pretty consistently, and we had a small fitness center, and we have always had an on-site clinic, and our corporate offices in California kind of got wind of that, and they started to promote wellness, and so therefore it gave us a little bit more clout in the long run.
All right, you guys had to set the example, huh?
We did, yeah.
So did you guys really have people out on the dock? Were they doing like aerobics classes on the loading dock?
We were doing aerobics classes. We had our music turned up loud, and we only did it after 5 o'clock when things had quieted down. And we did there. We did it in the cafeteria, just wherever we could find a place. We pooled our money together sometimes to have instructors come in, and so we were just very innovative and creative in how we did it.
Yeah, that's very, very resourceful. I think that's a really cool idea. So if you were going to tell somebody who was wanting to get started and do this for the very first time, where they should start, what would your advice be to somebody wanting to do what you've done?
Well, I would say listen to your employees. There's always a group that's really into health and wellness, and kind of seek those people out and form a little group, a little band together. Start doing things together and seeing if people want to exercise together. Get a class going. See if they can put a treadmill for the wintertime in a corner. And you just have to start real small, and then maybe align yourself with management a little bit or accounting services, and see where there's some extra funds to maybe buy a little bit of equipment. Just build very gradually. You can have some little contests and see if you can promote that to the rest of the employees, and you're just amazed at how people are receptive for that. Buy a little automatic blood pressure unit and sit it somewhere with some health magazines so that people can, be more aware of their health. And there's just a lot of things that you can do on your own to get started.
That's great. Great advice. Do you have any examples of, you kind of said, trying to get that buy-in from management. Do you have any examples that you could share about steps that you guys took if a company was trying to do what you did, trying to get that management buy-in, maybe some little tips or things that you did that worked for you guys when you were trying to cross that threshold of getting management to help fund a program?
I think a lot of it is trying to find who is the person that's best suited to go and sit in front of management or to report into management about how important this would be. Me, being the occupational health nurse, it was just a good fit for me, but a lot of people don't have on-site clinics or health care providers or even wellness people. So maybe someone in benefits or something to bring that up to management in their meeting and say, I'm really hearing from employees that this is what they want, and we can see statistics. Our our insurance companies tell us that if we had a little bit of a wellness program available for employees, it might help us on our insurance premiums, or it will make people healthier and more engaged at work. And just any little foot you can get in the door, I think is really helpful. Sometimes that has to be someone who is sitting in with management on their weekly meetings or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. Thank you. You mentioned on-site clinic. Have you guys always had an on-site clinic at Varian?
We have. We've always had an on-site clinic. Even when we split off from our parent company in 1999, the clinic in California closed, but we have always been open, and I think that's because the nurses and nurse practitioners have always made it important to go in and talk with the CEO or the president and help them out and let them be aware of how important these programs are. And so we kind of get on the good side of management, and we're able to stay. And I think in the long run, it really helps employees.
Okay. Yeah, and those on-site clinics are they're a hot topic right now. Do you guys staff your own? So I assume you're an employee of Varian. You don't outsource that?
Right. In the past, in other companies, I've worked as a contractor, but I like working as a colleague with employees and being an employee. And we staff the clinic. We're just a one nurse clinic right now, but as the company grows, that might expand. We've upgraded the clinic, every few years and expanded it as our employee base have grown. We've added more AEDs, defibrillators, and crash cart types of situations as our emergency response team has grown. And so it's evolved, but we've always had a nurse or a nurse practitioner on site, which has been a real help for employees. It seems to keep employees here at work where they don't have to take time off to go to the urgent care facility or their doctor for a minor problem. Plus, it helps keep our workers' comp claims low.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. So you talked a little bit about getting employees to volunteer on the wellness committees. Can you give me a little bit more information about that? Just kind of unpack that idea. How do you get those employees involved? Is this something that they came up with themselves, or how would an organization go about finding people that would be interested in serving on this committee to grow this wellness program?
Well, ours kind of started way back. It kind of evolved because we were the small group of people that were exercising and walking together. And so we asked some of our friends, and it just kind of grew out of a need to have employees that were interested and would volunteer their own time. And so we just added that. It gives employees a sense of buy-in, and we try to choose employees on a volunteer basis that are across different shifts and across different work areas at the plant. And then we meet together, to plan our programs. And I just think it's great to have a committee buy-in. We're our own little cheerleaders, and we've learned what employees like. Corporate has great programs. They're all online, healthy tracks, and people get involved with that activity-wise. But we've found through our wellness committee that employees are telling them we like to see things tracked on a bulletin board. And so last year we tracked our own little spaceships with our names and our pictures on them across the bulletin board, Lost in Space. And this year we're tracking on the bulletin board our own little torches to the Olympic finals and getting our gold medals.
Nice.
And so people seem to like that kind of visible vision type of program. And so we learned that through having a wellness committee.
Okay, so your employees really value that visual progression so that they can kind of chart and keep track of where they have been and where they are now and where they're going. Do you have any specific tools that you guys have used in your wellness program that has helped you, maybe things that help with that visualization besides just the bulletin board? Do you guys have any kind of tools that have really helped you get to where you're at?
Well, we have lots of ways to advertise and to try and increase participation. And of course, we use perks and rewards, and we have an electronic board that we can advertise on, and we do that for our green team and for our wellness programs and for any kind of announcements coming up. And that's kind of helped because we've gone more electronic, more digital. We put things on individual computers to encourage people, but we have a large base of people that are quite diverse, and we do have a diversity team here, and trying to include people who aren't really high-tech savvy, and so we try to get a combination of tools that we use. We have rallies when we have our wellness programs so that we encourage people to come to the rally even if they're not participating, and we hand out snacks, healthy snacks and treats, talk about our rally, give a hoorah for people who are doing well in it, and I think just word of mouth gets to employees, and so they like to participate because they want to take advantage of that.
Great, thank you. So in our previous conversations before today, I know I've talked to you a little bit about different things that you guys have done that are kind of creative and out of the box. And one of the things that you've mentioned to me before is that you guys have done this corporate garden, and I just really want to highlight that in our conversation today. And if you just can tell us a little bit more about, where did you get the idea for a corporate garden? What is a corporate garden and how that works for you guys?
Well, we are very sad right now because we built a new building and it took out our garden area and our outside track, but that is going to come back in, and that really came out of from the people who started the green team, which was not really too involved with the wellness committee at the time. Now we're more aligned with each other, and our outside staff that did our yards and our outside services. We were fortunate to have a person who was really into gardening and kind of doing hybrid fruits and plants and stuff, and so he started the green team, and he started this employee garden. And people just started very small, but they got help with having this small garden, and they would go out and work in the garden, and there was a resource here with the people who they kind of shared like a team. Well, this worked for me, and I'm growing this. Do you want to try this? Or we'll share seeds. And then they would bring in at the health fair or the green fair, they would bring in their produce and say, this is what we sold, and you can try it. At the end of the season, we did a lot of donation of food products, fresh fruits and vegetables and stuff to the food bank and to the homeless shelter. This year, because we don't have the garden, we have started to store fruit trees, and we're going to try and do some fruit trees that are different, that have never been in the valley before. And so when we plant these trees, and people are going to purchase their own tree and plant them, and they'll have help doing that, we're excited to get a grove going. And so we'll have, hopefully next year, we'll have a big garden again. And
so what kind of trees? What kind of trees? You said they're not native to the valley.
These are hybrids, like they're crosses between apricots and apples, or apricots and peaches and some other tree. And I'm certainly not the expert, but we do have some people here that have purchased these trees and are growing them in a greenhouse and cross hybriding them right now. And so when they're ready to be planted, hopefully next year, people will be able to go out and use that as an adjunct with the regular garden. So they all choose their own little place in the garden, and they farm it. They garden in there, and they reap the produce, and then they can share that, or they can take it home to their families, or whatever. And it's only I think last year it was a $15 fee to get started in the garden, and that included your fertilizer and a lot of things to get started in the garden and to provide any help that you might need.
That is really neat. So it's kind of like a co-op. You guys
Yeah,
teaching people how to garden and then
Yes.
also sharing that. I think that's really neat.
Yeah, it's great.
So how do you feel that things like your wellness program and your corporate garden, all these different initiatives and projects that you guys have done, how do you feel like that has affected or changed Varian Medical's culture for the better? What kind of an effect has that had on you guys?
Well, definitely it encourages more of a team approach and a family type of an atmosphere. As you're growing really fast in the business community, keeping that team and that family kind of culture and trying to help each other out, I think is really important. And I think that's where your fairs and your activities, your sponsoring of some of the athletic teams, like Varian sponsors our hockey and our golf and our our sports teams, our bowling and hiking team, and if they give money to help us in our garden, and they provide the fitness center for us, and I just think all of these things increase our morale, and it provides a more cohesive group of employees to work with, and it makes us feel that management cares about us.
Oh, absolutely. I 100% agree with that. So we're going to wrap up. I just have a couple more questions. So do you have any ideas? What do you think are some of the biggest mistakes that you've seen either your own company make or other companies make with their wellness programs? Is there anything that comes to mind of what not to do?
Well, I think you have to go really with what you can afford in a step-by-step approach. If you come in and try to get health appraisals going, and you can't afford that, and employees don't want to pay $30 to have that done, then that's not the right thing for you to do. The best thing for you to do is listen to your employees and start small. And most companies really have a group of employees that want to spearhead something like that. I think if you just listen to your employees, see what would be helpful for them. I mean, we've had a lot of employees come and say, I really think it would be great to have this program on site, but it's expensive. And our employees want something that basically they can get in and it's free to them, or a very nominal fee, and they get rewarded for participating, and that's what works well for our employees. If you have a big budget and you have a lot of staff, then I think you can go big guns, but we kind of started small, and we've put the investment into it, but now employees can participate basically free of charge in almost any of these activities.
Oh, that's fantastic. So what I'm hearing over and over again is kind of as your theme is that we need to listen to what our employees want. We need to get the employees involved, and then we need to get management on board, which is done by showing them that this is something the employees want, right? Am I hearing you correctly?
That is correct. I think that's a step-by-step approach, and you do a little bit at a time, and eventually it kind of grows by itself, especially if you have a team that will help you or a committee that will help you, and that you keep in that open communication with management or HR, someone who's going to listen to you and see that this is what employees like, and it makes their work better, their workplace better, and the actual, I mean, just the environment that they're working in more pleasing and supportive. So it just kind of takes off on its own.
Okay, great. That is excellent advice. So thank you so much for taking the time to share your expertise and your wisdom and your experience. I know you've been doing this for quite a while, and so we just really appreciate you sharing all your experiences with us today on the CultureCast. Wasn't that some awesome information? I think that those corporate gardens are just so interesting to me. I just love hearing more and more about what they're doing with that. I've never heard of another company that implements a corporate garden or a orchard of fruit trees. Like, this is just really, really unique, and I really enjoy hearing about that. I think she had some really powerful suggestions to help any company to improve their wellness program. She really spoke to getting that management buy-in that I know so many people starting a wellness program really struggle with. And they had some really great suggestions on just how to be resourceful and just bootstrap that wellness program with no money and no capital, using that recycling to earn the money to buy their first piece of equipment. Just like really, really clever. And no wonder that Varian is a giant in their industry. I think they take those same practices and apply them to all areas of their business. So I want you to think about something. I want you to think about how your company culture is right now. What does that look like? And what do you want to improve? So I have a checklist today of 11 strategies to enhance your corporate culture by the end of this month. And I am really excited to be able to share this with you guys for free. So all you need to do is go to incorporatemassage.com/culturecast. That's CultureCast, CultureCast. And then just click on episode 3 and you can download the checklist right there. That has some fantastic strategies that real organizations have used and you can implement instantly to enhance the culture of your own organization. So thank you so much for listening, and until next time, have a fabulous day.